Today we're gonna see the difference between a default export and a non-default export. Okay. It is a very. I was in my way to create a Redux tutorial. Because I think everybody has this idea of Redux being super complex, and it is not. It is just. It introduces weird terms, but it isn't. It isn't complicated. It isn't complex. It just. It's just different. It just very different to what we know. It's almost you can almost say is counter intuitive. But okay, this video is about imports and exports and the default imports, default exports and non-default exports. So we are going to create a file that is going to be named components. ESX, and we're going to create two components here in one file. This is not a good practice, guys. The name of the file should match the name of the component. No matter how you export it, it has to match. It is the right, let's say, practice. But for the ends of this tutorial, I'm gonna do it. So let's do it. Const default exported component equals to is going to be a arrow function. So it's going to be a functional component. Component. Both sound right. Okay, so this one is going to return just like a header, h1. See that I have the autocomplete disabled. Just for you guys, you should love me now. So hello world default exported. And in order to default export this component, you need there are two ways to do it. You can do export default and then the component that you want to export. This is going to export it, and once you export default, you kind of anonymize the component. What do I mean by that? You kind of as it is default, when you import it, you can name it whatever you want. You're gonna see it in a minute. Actually, you can do this. This is interesting. You can do, if this doesn't work, we go back to where we were. We can do a export default, and then just the function. And you just exported a component that can be imported in the other file, and as it is anonymous, you can name it whatever you want. See the point here of the default export now? But I don't want to be too hipster about this, so let's do it the normal way. And then we're gonna have I'm gonna copy and paste this just to save time, and this is not going to be default. This is just going to be export component and exported component non-default. And in order to do that, we can do it at the end of our file, like export exported components. You can do that, or you can just do it here, export const component, const exported component. So we have the exported component and we have the default exported component, which is exported default. Redundancy, right? So now we're going to import them, and that is going to be the, here's the difference. This is the main point of the video. When you import a component from components, let's do a from this file. It is in the same folder, so we're going to do components. And what are we going to do? We're going to import the default exported. And how are we going to do that? By just naming anything we want here. Anything. We can do this. What do you think is going to happen with anything? Anything is going to take this component. That's why I said before that the default exported components become like anonymous. So you can rename them like that because it's default. Also you can only export default one component. So React assumes that, okay, so it's default, you can name it whatever you want. And you're going to see that anything, if I print, if I render anything here, let's close it like that. Import anything, default exported. Okay, so it should be okay. Yeah, I don't know why it wasn't refreshing. This had hot refresh. That was weird. But do you see? I'm importing anything. And what's the name of the component? Is the name is default exported component. That's why I said that they become like anonymous. They anonymize the component. That's why we will do the thing we did earlier without the name of the component. So anything, and we are importing the default exported component. And let's import from, I like doing this, the file. If you don't like semicolons, I love them, so I don't know why I don't have them. Some people don't like them. I'm one of those weird guys who like them. When you import a non-default component, you need the correct name of the component. You need the real name. You cannot do this. You can rename it, but you cannot import it without the correct name. So the name, I think it was, another thing, it needs to be inside curly braces. When curly braces or curly brackets, I don't know. The curly braces are needed for non-default components. That's another difference. So Let's import how did I name that? This thing is not auto-completing anything. I think it is because it relies so much on the autocomplete from the AI, and this is disabled right now, the AI autocomplete. So we need the name of the component. We put it here, and now we have the component, and we can use it here. Exported component, and this is a non-default exported component. Do you see it? I wanted to make this video because a lot of people had confusions about the defaults and why default, why brackets, why not brackets. It is pretty straightforward once you see it this way. Like, you can do anything. Literally, you can do anything here and anything, and it will still be the default exported. So okay, the last thing I wanted to do is to I told you that we could rename our components. So let's say exported component, I want it to be here another name. That's the way I want it here. So now this is not going to work anymore because this is going to be another name, and now it works again. So you imported the component using curly brackets, braces, whatever, a non-default exported component, and the default one, you are importing it with the name the name you chose. I mean, it's your choice to name the component because it's exported default, so you can import it with the name, whatever the name you want. I hope this is helpful for understanding better the import and exports. So I think that's it for now, and please like, subscribe, share, comment if you don't like my style, like you are too you look like you don't give an S, or you are too non-BS, like the channel the channel name. Please give me feedback, that I will appreciate that a lot. So yeah, this is all for import, export, and default import, the default export, and I guess this is a default import, I don't know. So see you in the next time. Thank you, guys.
This interview.